And we're official. Thank you so much for doing this. This is so cool to me. I have questions. But first, I just want to say that you're awesome. I'm super stoked about this.
Thank
It
you.
was super, super cool to meet you in person. And when I first saw you at King of the Motos, I was like, oh my God, just chill out. It's fine. I was like, just go talk to her. She's a normal person. I always do that with like the super badass, amazing women riders that I get to meet. Like every single time that I've met one, I'm like, all right, it's fine. It's fine. You're okay. Go talk to her. Like, I don't get that way with like the pro guys. Like, I can walk right up to a guy and just be like, yo, what's up? You know, Tristan Hart, Cody Webb, whatever.
Yeah.
But any of the women, oh my God, I'm just like immediately.
I know.
Oh my God. I don't know if I could talk to her. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. And I'm typically pretty shy. Like I get outgoing like because of dirt bikes, but in real life, if you see me like at the store, I'm so quiet.
I'm the same way too.
Yeah, it's just dirt bikes bring out the best, and then they bring like the best people into my life, and so I've learned that like I click with people pretty easily, and when I click, like it's awesome. So I felt like that when we met. I was like, yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a real thing. Like getting to know all the girls in the community, it's pretty awesome. And then it's just like that initial like, hey, how you doing? And then it's totally fine after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're just like chill and you're like, okay, all right, I'm over it.
We're friends now. We can carry on.
Exactly. It was like immediate. We're just like, oh, okay, let's go. And yeah, it was really cool. So
well, thank you. Yeah, likewise. It was like I said, like I mentioned to you before, we've listened to your podcast on our travels down. So it was super cool to, and I saw you at briefly at Donner. So that was fun. I'm put a face to a name again. So I'm super stoked.
Yeah, me too. This is awesome. Okay, well, let's just jump right into it. Tell the world how you got started in dirt biking or bikes in general.
Well, it's kind of been a long time coming. I started on a little KLX 125. Actually, before that, I was like anti-dirt bike or anti-motorized bike. I grew up on a farm and my dad, if he'd hear like a motorbike going through his fields, he would lose it. He'd leave the dinner table, run as fast as he could to grab his farm van. And that's the way that I was raised. It was too dangerous too, so I played golf for fun. Yeah, and then it wasn't until I moved to BC that I got my first little dirt bike and learned pretty fast that the KLX 125 was way too small for me, and traded in that for a KTM 200. I had no idea what I was doing, honestly, and figured out the difference between a 2-stroke and 4-stroke real fast. The 200 did not last long. I wish it had, but my little brain couldn't comprehend how to ride it properly. So I ended up on a TTR 230. And it was just after that. It was, I mean, the 230 is like a tractor. It gets you around everywhere. Got into that for a few years, did some trail riding around here. BC's got some pretty amazing single track. Grew into a full-size bike and felt a little bit more comfortable. I had a dreaded WR 250 that was just way too big for me, way too restricted, and moved to my now bike, Gas that I love, back on the 2-stroke. Again, still riding some single track, and then just recently got into the hard enduro. Mainly because I ended up on a trials bike too, somewhere in there. It's been about 4 years I've been on the trials bike, and that just was, I saw a friend who had a bike and I was like, cool, what's that thing over there? And it was horrible even standing on it, and like couldn't even balance at all. And I was like, that's the bike for me. So I've been back and forth between the trials bike and my dirt bike the last 4 years, and it's been all the time on 2 wheels.
That's really cool though. Like, there's not a lot of people who get into trials after they get into dirt bikes, like as hardcore. Like they do
Yeah.
it to increase their hard enduro skills,
Yeah.
but like most people are like in well, to be fair, this is a lot of people from the UK where it's a lot bigger. But they're in trials first and then they transition fully over to hard enduro and then they like never touch the trials bike again. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, I mean, I got the trials bike because A, I was horrible at it, and B, I wanted to get better with my skills on the dirt bike, but then
mhm.
slowly just the trials bike did its thing, and then I still was on the dirt bike too. So I've got the best of
Yeah.
both worlds.
So what's your favorite part about trials bike and like doing all of that?
The That's a funny one. Um, it's super rewarding to as a female.
Hmm.
Like you can pick up a skill and not pick up a 250-pound bike a lot faster. And I mean,
Hmm.
everyone's got a different learning experience. So
Yeah.
for me, it was just like I could see the progression a lot faster when I would figure out a skill. It doesn't
Yeah.
directly correlate to the dirt bike, but it helps, which,
Yeah.
you're trying to figure out how to like pop your clutch. The simplest
Yeah.
things. It's like, okay, that's how I did it on that bike. I'm going to try and do it on my dirt bike.
Yeah.
And even just like simple things like finding traction in areas.
Yeah.
That one was a big one that I found um, helped me a lot. Uh, like we have a lot of slippery single track. Um, there's a lot on the coast, but even like different terrain around here, just
Hmm.
how to find traction. And it's been fun to figure it out on both bikes.
Yeah. Traction in general is a hard thing to figure out. I started riding in the Midwest, did most of my riding East Coast, and then I moved out to the West Coast, and I was like, I don't even understand because like everywhere I go, I thought I figured it out, and then now I feel like I don't know anything.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean to be fair, so like when I moved out to the West Coast, I had probably like 60 hours on the bike and maybe 80 total ever on a bike because I had a
yeah,
TCR 125 before I had my Husky.
yeah,
And but I didn't have hardly any time on it. Like
yeah,
I legitimately maybe had 10 hours on it before I
yeah,
switched over to the Husky. And
yeah.
like I was like, I knew I wanted to do hard enduro, and the people I was around were like, you can't do hard enduro on a TTR. Like you
Watch
gotta
me.
make the switch.
Just
Well,
kidding.
the thing is that like I went like there's this trail ride in Minnesota and I went on like the harder trail and like at the time it was like impossible for me almost, but I made it through most of it, but I kept getting hung up on like routes and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, how do I fix this? Well, the only alternative is to get a bigger bike.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, if I wanted, like, I knew that that was the terrain I wanted to get into. I wanted to start moving into harder stuff. I still didn't know how to ride the stupid thing, so I probably should have stayed on the TTR longer. Um, but like, I mean, I could go to straight line decently, but that whole turning thing,
That's half the battle. You just need to
I
go in a
didn't
straight line.
exactly. There's no turns, there's no
No,
downhill. Like, it's not a big
no,
deal.
it's fine.
No, I did not know that there was a rear brake for like the longest time. And so like finding that out was life changing. Um but then like being told to like slip the clutch, I was like, what does that mean? So that was like a clinic that I took and I was like
Yeah,
figuring all this stuff out. I am so new on the bike. I'm on the TCR and I'm just like, I don't even understand the things that this man is telling me to do right now. Like
yeah.
literally having my mind blown. And so yeah, I feel like I probably progressed too fast into a bigger bike, but you know
No.
what? It's working for me for now,
It's
at least.
working, you're learning, you're having fun, and you're in one
Yeah,
piece. Like,
exactly.
there's things that you go to a race and you're like, okay, I didn't do so good at that, like that skill.
Hmm.
You go back
Hmm.
and you practice it, and like that's the fun of it. That's the fun of learning on a bike. So you figure it
Yeah,
out as you
yeah,
go.
exactly. And I am very good at that. Like, well, because like I said, I've moved a lot. I've traveled a lot. I've ridden in 16 different states in my limited time on a bike, and I've it's a lot of change. And I feel like in the last year, there's been a multitude of things that have contributed to me actually being able to make progression, which is
Yeah.
one, staying in one place so I could see the same type of terrain for more than 2 months.
Yeah.
And then two, finding a good group of people who are willing to help me.
Yeah. That's a
Because that's
real big
huge.
thing. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
I find the same thing. Like I, again, very, very new to the hard enduro world and
Mm-hmm.
even the trials world too. Like what I've learned is you put yourself and you ride with better riders and you
Mm-hmm.
ride with a good group. And it's just
Yeah.
like you find those people that just, you don't even have to say sorry. Like if you say, sorry, I'm sorry that took me so long, like
Yeah.
you don't even have to apologize to them. They're there for a good time. They're there to help. They're
Yeah.
there to help teach you, and you're there to learn. So it's
Yeah.
a win-win situation. If you find those people, like that's the
Mm-hmm.
bee's knees right there for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I was really lucky to find my crew like very quickly after I moved out here. Um and I drive 3.5 hours to go ride with them all the time.
Yeah,
And people are like, "You're crazy. Why are you driving so much?" I live in the middle of nowhere.
yeah,
So I literally to drive to any of my friends is pretty much 3 hours in any direction.
yeah,
I recently did make a couple friends. One guy who lives here in town, and then one guy who lives like about an hour away, which
yeah,
is nice. But our schedules don't always sync up, so
yeah. I
that
know.
part sucks. But
I feel the same way. Like for me to go to like a legit trials area for myself and to ride with
yeah,
like good people, it's 2 hours either way. And when
it's
you're training,
hard.
yeah, it's hard to juggle everything. Like you're
Yeah.
coming home from work and you want to go for a ride, or you've got things on the weekend, like 4 hours round
Hmm.
trip to go ride. But I mean, if you love it, you do it, you figure it out, you fit it into your
Yeah.
schedule. But yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing to the traveling to find those right people.
Yeah, yeah. And my guys out in SoCal are so worth it. Like they are like the whole crew is absolutely gold. But I've just learned so much from them. And not even just like not just technique, but like just getting the seat time. Like we don't
Yeah,
always go into hard stuff. Like in the beginning when I first started riding with them, I wasn't doing hard enduro yet. I was still so new. And they kind of like they were like, "Well, this is what you want to do, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so they kind of started throwing me into harder and harder stuff, and I kept getting invited to stuff, and I was like, "Why am I getting it?" Like it was fantastic, but I was like, "Why am I getting invited with these people? Like this is not something that I should be doing. Like I don't have skills for this yet." But they would coach
yeah,
me and help me and whatever, but they knew that that's what I wanted to get into. So
yeah,
that's where things have gone. And within 2 months of starting to ride with them, I ended up signing up for my first hard enduro. So I was like, they built my confidence, and I still have I'm still not prepared, but it still was like it was a dream come true. It's the first time in my life that I've really had a core group that really believes in me and something like this, and that's like supports me every step of the way.
yeah,
And I think that that's the coolest thing. But this whole community has just been like that. Like ever since I started, there's very very few people who tell me, "Oh, you can't do that." A lot of
yeah,
people are like, "You probably shouldn't be doing it on that bike, or you should get a trials bike."
yeah,
There's like little things like that, but like nobody has told me I can't,
yeah,
and it's really cool to get the support. Um, and especially from other women, and it's just cool to see like the different levels now. When I first got into the US side of hard enduro, I was doing media, and the very first race that I was at, there was two women.
that's
Two. That was it.
insane. Just
Hmm.
two.
Just
That's so
two.
sad.
There's a lot less women who ride on the East Coast than there is on the West Coast. And there's a lot less women who ride hard enduro.
Hmm.
So when I went to Battle of the Goats this past year, so that first year was the two women. This past year was two women in amateur other than me, and then we had two pro women at that race. So five women total. That was huge. That was like double, over double.
Yeah,
So that was a big growth. But then at TKO, I think I want to say we had 9 women total at TKO.
that's pretty
So which
good.
is it's a big jump.
Yeah,
Um,
that's pretty good.
but on the West Coast, I think we had I want to say there was like 11 women this year at King of the Motos.
Yeah,
I
there
think
was what, us three, and then yeah, somewhere around there. Somewhere
something
around.
like that. Because I remember thinking it was double digits, and it was like 10 or 11. I
Yeah,
think
because of what, 6, 7? Yeah, you're right. Math.
something like that. Yeah, math is hard. It's the end of the day. But yeah, it's really cool though, because like you were talking about Donner last year. They did the clinic beforehand
Mm-hmm.
and for the women, and there was a lot of women who showed up to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really cool. So last year, this past year, yeah, I helped facilitate a clinic with Louise Forsley at TKO for the
Nice.
exact same thing. So to just
Yeah.
make sure that the women on the East Coast got the same opportunity. Um, and that was, I think, why we had so many women there at TKO last year. And we have a lot more stuff going on the East Coast with the Ohio Hard Enduro series,
Mm-hmm.
and we're really pushing for women to be a bigger and bigger part of hard enduro. So I live on the West Coast, but I do a lot on the East Coast still, so I'm kind of
That's
all
great.
over the place.
Fun story. I actually was meant to go to that clinic, but at Donner, and my friend and
Yeah.
we our van broke down twice. And we may have told you this, but our van broke down twice on the way up there, and then like 20 minutes from the summit, like the van just
Uh-huh.
fully exploded. So we were on the side of the road, and I know there's a handful of people that I'll still think to this day that saved us. And
Uh-huh.
we missed the clinic, unfortunately, but we were stuck down in California for like an extra week because the van was in the shop, and it was a bit of a
Oh my
nightmare
goodness.
to do to do that one. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was an expensive trip down to the States for my first hard enduro. So I will forever remember that one. That's for sure.
It's a memorable trip.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Was there
it snowed, and then it hailed, and everything on top of that
yeah,
one. That
the
was definitely
thunder,
a
the
very memorable.
lightning. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I'm just gonna go with that was all for you.
Hmm.
Um
Exactly.
it was just a lighting show for you. It's just like, the universe apologizing.
Yeah. My friend Kristen, she rode, was it Spectator Hill? And I remember being
Hmm.
down at the bottom being like screaming, and I'm pretty sure I was screaming over everyone actually in the event. It was pretty
Yeah.
cool. That one was a bucket
No,
list item for sure.
that's really cool. I was doing media at that one last year, and I
Yeah.
remember watching and just going, oh, I really wish my bike was working. I think that was, I don't remember what was wrong with my bike at that point, but there's something, my bike was out of commission. And I was like, man, I really wish it was working because I would totally
Yeah.
do this. Like,
Next
it
year,
is,
man.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I am planning on it. So I'm signed up for Grinding Stone, I'm signed up for Moab, and then I plan on going to Donner as well. So
Nice.
that's, yeah, full West Coast. I'm gonna try and get to BC, but I don't know if I'll be able to swing it. We'll have to see if a couple other things work out. But
Hmm.
um I'd like to do it all. I would
Me too.
I would
I
love
wish I
to.
had a gazillion dollars and all the time in the world.
I
That could be
was
really great.
yeah, win the lottery. That's my friend and I always say that. We're like, okay, when are we gonna win the lottery? Like, when is it
Yeah.
gonna happen? Like, it's our turn. Like,
We should
it's
all
time.
just go in on one pool and just get it done. Like one of us
Yeah,
has to win, right?
exactly. Like when it's like that 900 billion and like we can just split that, like that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with just getting like 2-3 million. I'm all right with that.
I could probably float that for a year or two.
Yeah, exactly. Um okay. So next question I had for you.
Yeah.
Um when did you start racing and what discipline?
Um, I actually only did my first dirt bike race 2 years ago. Like actual like hair scramble 2 years ago.
Okay.
Um, and then I did my first hard enduro last year. Donner
Yeah.
was my first hard enduro, and then I did, yeah, King of Motos, this one. So I've actually only ever done 3 real dirt bike races. I did the TDN before I did I did the TDN before I did any dirt bike race. which
Okay.
was interesting because that's like world stage. Lots of cameras on you, lots of famous riders around you, and I winged it. So there I went. Yeah,
You're
and
just
I've
a
done.
badass on a bike.
I don't know. I have this. I have this. I don't know, way of living. I don't know if it's way of living, but like if you're presented the opportunity, like just let's go do it. Like,
Yeah.
obviously have some common sense about it, but go do it smart. If you have the skill, like try. Nothing's
Yeah.
worse than getting back and like being like, I'm just so scared of regretting something at some point in my life. So I've always been pretty
Hmm.
big on like if you have the opportunity, you go do it and you make the best out of it. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. I did the TDN in 2023, and then I did a world round in 2024, and then 2025 I did the TDN again. So I've done three big trial events, and then I've done a handful of like the AMA trial events down in the States, and then like
Hmm.
local trials up here. So I've actually done more trials than I have actual dirt bike racing.
Yeah. Which you wouldn't really consider that like a race, but it is competition. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's not really the same, but it's kind of the same.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny the technicality of a race. They call it a race over in Europe,
Okay.
um, but not over here so much.
I think that we consider races fast.
Yeah.
So like that's I think probably the biggest difference. But that's like cultural, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
translations and stuff like that. But yeah,
For
I
sure.
don't know what else you call it. Like you can't call it a match because isn't a match like against some? I mean, I guess you're still against somebody. I don't know the nuances of words.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean like a trial event, like you do typically 3 loops of 10 sections, and like you're given a time that you have to go in, and then you have to come back. Or otherwise, you
Yeah.
get scored on your time that you're late on. So it's
Hmm.
a component of racing, I guess, when you look at it that way. But yeah, not go
Yeah.
fast, King of Motos kind of race for sure.
Yeah. um. Well, if you could pick anywhere to go race or ride, anywhere in the world, and it was all expenses paid, because we're, talking about that now,
Yeah.
where would you go?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I I don't know actually. I mean, Donner was like a real big bucket list because I did an event there and then I was like, I want to go ride it there on my dirt
Yeah.
bike. And that like I love that place. That place is so cool.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, I see cool videos of like Spain and Portugal,
Mhm.
and it'd be fun to go ride a dirt bike over there sometime.
Yeah, for sure. That would
That
be
would be
really
sweet.
fun.
Yeah.
Um, I have a friend who lives in Spain, and he said it's some of the best dirt biking in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, heck yeah. So that's on my bucket list one day. One day.
Nice.
We should
Nice.
get like a ladies' ride. We should just go, oh, a whole bunch of us just go and ride. Oh my God, that'd be so much fun.
Totally doable. I feel like there's some girls out there doing that somewhere that I've seen
Yeah.
recently.
There's a couple different like ladies tours that you can do. Like there's one, I want to say it was in Nepal. There was recently one in South Africa,
Mhm.
and I want to say there's going to be another one in Brazil soon.
Mhm.
Um but they're more like adventure bikes.
Yeah.
So I personally am not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any experience on an adventure bike?
No, I have a really good friend and she like that's her forte and she
Yeah.
has grown up on them and she's always pushing me to do it. But man, the part of the I mean adventure biking is like being on the road. The road actually terrifies me.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
what it is.
exactly
Like
it.
I can go really fast on a trail and I can throw my bikes up some rocks and maybe down some rocks, I'm not sure. But being on the road just I know what my level is, but I don't know what those other drivers are doing around me. So I mean that's a
Yeah.
fear I have to come over myself. But yeah,
Yeah.
the it'd be nice to have an adventure bike for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like for me, it's that aspect, but then also like the bigness of those bikes. Like they're
Yeah.
huge. They weigh a
Yeah.
lot. And
Yeah.
my bike is big for me already. So,
I feel like there's a few out there that are like, again, I don't know anything about adventure bikes or dual sports, but like I know that there's a bike for everyone. So if you find the right bike, and I mean, it just depends like what you're looking for out of it. If you're looking for
yeah.
long rides, or if you're just looking to get from point A to B, there's tons of different
I want
bikes,
to go do
obviously.
hard enduro. I want to go hard enduro in like any country that I can. Like that
Yeah.
would be like if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like it's just gonna happen.
Yeah. Get her done.
Yeah, I that's me personally. I mean, really being on any bike, like when I went to Austria, um, just being on the back of Radford's bike, like just to go up the hill, I was like, I could say that I was on a dirt bike in another country. Like I wasn't driving it, but I also could not drive his bike. His bike, um, he uses a thumb throttle.
Oh,
So he's like, you could take it. I was like, no,
no, thank you.
I'm not. I am not gonna at Erzberg where there's a bajillion people around. I am not gonna learn how to use a thumb throttle, aka send the bike into somebody. I was like,
Yeah, no
especially a
thanks.
pro's bike. Like,
Yeah.
no, no.
I
I was
rode
like, you can just
over
give me a
I rode over in Pasquet's or Prescott. Yeah. I think that's how you say his last name. Sorry. Jordi Pasquet's over in Spain, and that was super
ride.
cool. Like being on bikes. It was Sherco.
Uh-huh.
I forget which one it is over there, but like I got to ride over at his facility, and
Yeah.
it is so cool to ride over there. They have a training facility, and you get to see all the pros ride that area too, and you're like, oh, I rode up that, or maybe beside it. Um, you're like, I see that rock. I remember that rock. I went up like 20 feet over from that rock. But to be in like a different area and ride some cool stuff, that's the best.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. I just want to be on a bike all the time, but that's just me. Um Yeah, it would be really fun to do something like that and to just go. I mean, I say I want to do hard enduro anywhere, but really, like I said, being on a bike at all in another country is just like not so many people get to do that very often. So just being able to have that experience, I think would be really cool. Even if it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna go down the street. Like I would
Yeah,
prefer to be out on a trail trying hard, but just whatever opportunity presents itself.
for
So,
sure, for sure. I remember just this past year when we were in Italy for the TDN,
mhm.
they actually set up like the stage in the middle of the city or
Uh-huh.
town. It's a tiny little Italian town that we were at, and you get to drive or ride on the streets to get to like the section. So you're like top gear trying to get to section one, and you're like, I don't even think a trials bike could go this fast. Um, but again, you're on
Heck
two wheels
yeah.
in a different country, you're driving or riding down a road. Like, how cool is that? And to be in the
Yeah.
middle of like some crazy little Italian city, it's yeah, pretty makes you feel pretty grateful in moments like that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like I don't even go like across the world and I get that just going out to different races anywhere I go. Like I try and never like take advantage of the opportunities that I get just because of where I've come from and like I shouldn't be where I'm at right now. Like I not that I shouldn't, but I'm
Yeah,
such a long way from where I was 3.5 years ago.
totally.
And I had no idea that I would be getting opportunities like this or doing the things that I'm doing. Like I was like almost crying this last weekend because I was like heading to this race where my friends from SoCal were coming, and I had my friends, they're in Arizona, and then I had a friend who is actually from the Midwest but is coming from Vegas, and like all of these people, and I was like, my world is meeting because I'm from Arizona originally, and
Yeah,
so I just had this moment of like I'm gonna go to race my dirt bike with all of these people that I've met from all over the place in my home state. Like, this is really cool. And
Isn't
like,
it cool? Like that's one of the best moments ever. You kind of like look
yeah,
around and you're like, how did I even get here? Like, what the heck?
I, yeah, like, I could never have thought of myself as a racer. Even like I did a couple races on the TTR. Even when I got this dirt bike, wanting to do hard enduro eventually, I
Hmm.
truly didn't think that I was going to be able to do it for like 5+ years.
Hmm.
And here I am 2 years later doing multiple races. Like you said,
Yeah.
you've done three. I've done, including the ones on my TTR, I've done 8. And like, that feels like a lot.
Yeah, I know,
It's
right?
just like, it's so crazy. But, and every single one, I'm like, this is a dream come true. And it's so funny because my friend was like a little upset she got third place. And I was like, dude, I've gotten third place twice and I am ecstatic about it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
so stupid happy.
I feel the
Like,
same way. Like I was actually like I think King of Motos actually that was probably the most scared I've ever been for a race ever. Like
really?
not even the TDN. I was just terrified for that race. Like I wasn't sure what I was getting into. And then
Mhm.
after I think it was check one, I just like I had that same moment. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm so lucky to be here." Although I wanted to die like 20 minutes ago. And yeah, on that day I was actually super sick and it was funny. My girlfriend and I um we like my friend that came from she met me from Vancouver Island and we traveled down together and she
Mhm.
also was like, you know what, let's just go for a good road trip. And we talked about like how life changing that, well, not life changing, but like how cool of an experience that was. Cause it wasn't just like there for the race. I completed the race and I completed it with
Yeah.
all of my limbs attached. That was a win in itself. Um,
Yeah.
but then to just like, you know, you're in the middle of the desert and you get to see like an event of that size, like it was super cool to be there. And
Yeah.
we're, you know, just super thankful that we got the opportunity to do it. So yeah.
Yeah. I think it's awesome that you guys came down, first of all. Like, that's a huge commitment. But then, like you said, you were able to travel and like enjoy your time a little bit. And I think that that's really cool. I
Yeah.
don't ever do that. I always like, cuz I work full time, and so I'm always like rushing to get back for work cuz like I have very limited time that I can get off and I'm just like
Yeah.
constantly go go go. I drove 50 it was like 54 hours total from California to North Carolina for my first race last year, Battle of the Goats.
That's
And
insane.
yeah, and it was by myself. And like I didn't get to like stop and enjoy anything. Like there was no like, oh, I'm going to stop here and like look at this. Like I have driven through so many places in the last couple years and I'm like, that'd be really cool to stop in this place, but I don't have
Yeah.
time. Like
Yeah.
but then at the same time I get to go to these super amazing events with these amazing people and be part of something really cool.
Yeah.
And like as cool as it would be to be like, I saw the world's biggest ball of twine or, whatever, like that to me, all right, cool, whatever. But like doing the actual race, being around those people, that's the experience for me. But
Yeah.
part of
I
that too
agree.
is, like I said, I just don't have time. So,
Yeah, you want to kill some time? Get in a truck with two Canadians around the California coast, and we can make like a 1 day trip or a 2 day trip into a full week. We're really good at that. So I know my friend will watch this, and she will laugh pretty hard because she knows. I think we stopped every 5 minutes at every single beach on the way home, and
because
I was
it's
like, well,
so pretty.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I know. I used to be like that when I would road trip, like
Hmm.
back in the day. And I would just be like, I want to stop here and just like, oh, let's go through the mountains so we can see how pretty it is. And
Yeah,
like, I want a little bit of extra time to be able to do that now because I
yeah.
miss that. But then I'll also, it's like, now I'm like, I have the bike with me. So it's like, now if I stop somewhere like that, now
You
I
got
want
a
to ride
bike.
there.
Totally, totally.
So, it makes these trips a little bit harder to plan because it's like, okay, don't go through Wyoming because you're gonna want to go and ride. You go through Nebraska because then you won't want to ride. Like, but
Yep, I know that feeling. We're
I
like, well, maybe we'll just go back through like the Moab way, and yeah,
and
I
just hit
don't think
the
my knees were
practical.
so angry after King of Motos. I was like, no, I don't think my poor
Oh,
body can handle that.
yeah, that's a little rough. Yeah, I haven't had that issue. Like this week after the outlaw, I'm hurting.
Oh
I
no,
definitely messed up my leg a little bit.
oh
Uh
no.
so I'm taking the week off and I'm like hating every second of it. But thankfully there's this really great storm that's been rolling through. So, you know, between the wind, the rain, and the snow that it's supposed to turn into tonight, I'm not going to be able to ride anyway. So,
It's a blessing in disguise. You're all good. Nothing
yeah.
was, or what do you think? Like anything torn or just a bad twist?
Um, so I am pretty sure that I just strained my hamstring really bad. Um, yeah, when I put my foot down in a sand section and my leg just got wretched backwards. And
Ugh.
at first I thought it was my LCL. I was having severe knee pain and I was just like the whole thing was hurting. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I knew it hurt something, but as long as I stayed in proper position on the bike, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
hurt. So as long as I kept my weight, I was good. But the
Yeah.
second I sat down and I put my knee at a weird angle, it pulled everything and I just had excruciating pain. So I was
Yeah.
trying not to sit down. Which
Mm-hmm.
you're not supposed to anyway. So I was just like, it's just gonna keep me in good form.
Yeah.
Uh got to the end of the first test and I was like, man, I don't know if I should keep going because like this isn't really my series. Like, do I really want to finish that bad? Or do I
Mm-hmm.
want to like not risk furthering an injury and be able
Yeah.
to ride grinding stone? So I
Yeah.
sat there for a couple minutes and then I was like moving my leg around and I was like, okay, it doesn't really hurt too bad. Just when I put a lot of weight on it. So like I had dropped my bike right after that and I like when I picked my bike up, it hurt. Um and I was like, okay, so just don't drop your bike again.
Yeah. Just don't do that.
Yes, just wish I
I
am
would
the
love that.
queen. I am the queen of dropping my bike. So I don't know what made me think that that was going to be a thing. But I actually only dropped my bike one other time. So that was kind of cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, I decided to go into the second test and I was like, I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to ride conservative. I'm going to go a little slower, but
Yeah.
I was riding fast enough to where I made it. I didn't time out. So I was like, I'll just keep see how far I can get. And worst comes to worst, I have to wait in one spot until sweeps come and find me and get me out of here. So I was like, okay, cool. This is my plan. So I went, I did it. I was so proud of myself because I made it up this super gnarly hill climb only to realize that was not the direction that I was supposed to
Oh
go.
no. Oh no. That's so awful.
Then I had
So
to make this
awful.
super gnarly downhill. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, because
And I bet you were standing for it, right?
I was actually. I
See?
was very proud of myself. And then I had to drop down into this canyon and I was just like, I can't believe I just did that. Like seriously. Um, but yeah, I was feeling pretty good. Um, as long as I stayed standing. When I was
Yeah.
putting my foot down even in one section in the wash, there was some rocks and I was putting my foot down to kind of like just help balance just a little bit. And
Mhm.
my knee was fine and then I got turned back from going to the third test because too many people were bottlenecked in the transfer section.
Yeah.
So they were like, there's a pretty gnarly hill, and most of the sea riders ahead of you, there's like 15 of them stuck on the hill.
Oh.
So like, so we're just turning everybody back. And I was like, oh. So I didn't even get a chance to try. I was like, can I just go try the hill? But my knee was starting to hurt because I had stopped at that point. And once I stopped moving, it was starting to hurt really bad. So
Yeah.
I went back and I ended up popping it.
Ugh.
And the pop scared me because, normally you hear a pop and like your ACL's done. And I
Totally,
was
yeah.
like, oh my God, no. But like immediately all the pain went away.
Hmm.
So I honestly don't know what it was, but now the pain is all just in my hamstring and like my hip flexors. And so I think it's just
a strain.
everything got strained and was probably just pulling, which I've had happen before. So
Yeah,
it's fine. I can bear weight on it. It just
that's good.
hurts.
That's half the
So
battle. That's my big thing. Like if you ride smart, ride within your limit and play within it. I've had 8 knee surgeries, so like I am totally like ride smart, don't do something stupid.
yeah.
I'm terrified of like I don't know. I this year especially has been a tough year for me. Like in February in 2025, I was supposed to go in for a scope and I woke up and he's like, "Oh, we did a meniscus repair and a microfracture." And I had already applied to the TDN at the time, so I was committed to going.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've had a hard time trying to like get my confidence back this year from like previous injuries and that surgery specifically. But
Yeah.
yeah, you just riding smart is like when you acknowledge the pain and you're like, okay, something happened. I need to maybe like tailor back or maybe just stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real thing. And like making sure that you can walk out of the race in one piece, that's super
Yeah.
important as well because your health is super important at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I work in the medical field, and I was just like, man, I can't imagine if I really just jacked up my ACL or my LCL right now. I was like,
Yeah.
that pain when I was going through, because this happened in the first test. So I was like,
Mhm.
did I really just do this? Like right away, essentially. It was like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
But like you said, I listened to my body and I knew it was hurting, and I have a pretty high pain tolerance. So it's kind of like, how much of this is adrenaline? How much of this is like,
Yeah.
okay. But I felt really good. I felt like I was riding well. So I was listening to my body that way. Um,
That's good. The adrenaline was
yeah,
there, that's for sure.
yeah. Because like I said, it was after I stopped is when it started really hurting.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that pop really scared me, and I was like, oh, I never want to hear that again. Like,
No, pops are always bad. I
yeah.
rode a local trial event in November and I crashed really hard on a rock. Like I was third gear up a rock, and I'm notoriously
Ooh,
giving it bad at giving it for like 80% commitment, 100% of the
yeah,
time. It's like my thing. I'm almost there, but not enough.
yeah.
And I actually landed on my elbow really hard. And I was like, I'd be shocked if I didn't break anything. But I went and rode like a whole third loop. And when I
Uh-huh.
got to like just before the end of the event, I was like, oh, guys, the adrenaline shakes came in and I like couldn't hold on to my bike anymore. And I was like, I think something's broken here. Like I can't even like turn or like do anything like external rotation. And then
Yeah.
I got back to the truck and I just was like, okay, I'm out of here, and drove myself to the hospital. And I ended up breaking my what was it, the radial bone. And I rode a
Ooh.
whole. It's weird, like I just rode a whole event with a broken bone, and I had no idea. I was like, okay, well, I guess I can't ride for a few weeks. But again, like it's crazy what adrenaline will do to your body
Yeah.
if you want it to keep going.
Look at was it Anson Maloney crashed in the ISDE, and he
Mm,
broke like multiple ribs, and like I think he punctured his lung. Like he should have died. But he finished the freaking race, and
it's
then he went
crazy.
to the hospital. I was like, dude, oh my God. And then like a week or so before that, one of my best friends had crashed going like 100 miles an hour in a race, and he like got up from the crash, had a severe concussion. He like
Hmm.
broke his whole arm all over the place. He had to get like a cadaver tendon put in and everything. He broke like his face. Like all of this stuff, and he rode like another couple miles to the pits, and he was apologizing to them for crashing the bike because
That's
he was like on a
crazy.
team.
Oh
The team
man,
still ended up getting third, but he felt so bad. He's like, I cost them time, and I'm like, you almost died.
it's
Like,
such a weird
it's
balance, eh?
like so crazy. But
Yeah.
I have to find wood. I have not yet broken a bone. So like
Mhm.
I cannot imagine what that feels like, that
Mhm.
pain, and to just block it out, like, and just keep going. That's
Yeah,
crazy to me.
it is.
Like I don't know how you guys do it. Like you're
I don't
insane
know,
in a good way, but still insane.
I see 2, like, pros crashing, and I'm like, and you see what, like, they ride, and you're just like, "How," like, sometimes I stub my toe and I wanna give up, but, I would never. But, yeah, like, again, I've had way too many knee surgeries for my own
Mhm.
good, and I'm kinda bionic in the sense of, like, I always have knee braces on, which sucks because it limits some things for sure.
Mhm.
Um, but it's like it keeps me safe mentally. I feel like, okay, I've done everything that I can to keep my body safe. But I feel like
Yeah.
the real problem about crashing is or, like, breaking something is the aftermath of it. Like, I still haven't figured out the confidence on the bike after,
Yeah.
and that's one of the biggest hurdles I feel like, and my friends know 'cause I complain about this to them all the time. I'm like, "I know I can do this. Like, why can't I get over the mental block?" And it's like my confidence is the big thing, and I think that's a real big game changer in riding is,
Mhm.
like, if you believe it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Obviously with an asterisk, but,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty crazy what injuries will do to you and, like, your mentality riding. It's
Yeah.
I find it super interesting.
Well, I didn't even have an injury, but, like, not this past December, but the December before, I fell off of single track on one of my first times on single track, and I fell a good 25, 30 feet.
Mhm,
So it was a good drop, and I didn't get hurt. I mean, I dislocated my thumb, but,
mhm,
like, I didn't get seriously hurt. I should have. A guy had fallen in that same section the year before, and he broke like ribs. He broke his neck or got a concussion or something. It was like serious. They've life flighted him out.
mhm.
And so it could have been really bad, but I got really lucky. But after that, exposure on single track scared me because it's
Yeah.
like that's all I was thinking about. So the guys that I was telling you about, the very first time that I met them, I had told Cody, I said, "I am scared of exposure. I'm not good on single track. Like, I am so new. Like, I will try anything that you take me to, but I'm just letting you know, like, these are, probably if you want a good time, probably stay away from this stuff."
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." And he's super nice. And um, so we go out on what he called a leisurely trail ride. And I didn't know him at the time. This was our first time like riding together. So I had no idea what that was going to mean.
Mhm.
That meant that was going to be the hardest ride of my entire life. Um,
Built
so
character.
it was, yeah, but mentally, it was mentally hard. Physically, it was not that bad in like terms of like there was no major obstacles. There was a couple hill climbs that were probably a little bit much for me at the time, but I got so in my head because I sent my bike on one of those climbs and I was so close to the edge. I
Yeah.
just like I was stuck this panic mode.
Yeah.
And like Cody's really good about like again, we had just met, but he was still even at that time really good about like walking me through it and like talking me through so I was able to get through with their help. But and then I started to feel okay after like a little bit, but it was so mind-boggling. And I was like, your definition of leisurely is my nightmare. Like absolutely. Like, we literally were on a whole section of a spine trail where it's literally like just the single track and nothing to the sides. It's just
Yeah.
sheer drop on both sides.
Yeah.
Like, not even like a foot. No, just like sheer drop. And I
Yeah.
was like, I cannot believe you guys are taking me on this right now. Like,
But look at how you survived and you probably learned
yeah,
a lot,
trauma
right? Like,
bonded me to them. And
yeah,
now they're like some of my favorite people. But I'm just like, oh
it's
my
such a weird thing, and it's like I just find it so interesting, and I would love to learn and get it better at it, but it's an ongoing thing. Like, how do you safely push yourself and overcome those barriers? Like for me, it's anything that if I can't get over and I know that I need to jump off of, I just because of my knee restrictions, like I cannot jump. So I like in my mind, I'm like, I cannot afford to fall off of this thing. because I can't jump backwards and eject from my bike. So I tend to really just hold on to my bike at all costs. And that's sometimes when injuries get worse, like when you stay with your bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing. And even, you know, you're trying to figure out how to go over this big wall on the trials bike. And I get up to it and I ride with my finger on the front brake and I just pull it in. I'm like, no, I don't want to go up it. And then, you know, then it just puts you in a bad mood. And you're like, you get done your ride and you're like, man, I had such a bad day. Not even because not because you rode awful, but in your mind, you're like, why? You get mad at yourself over
I let
the,
myself hold myself back.
yeah, I feel like that is
Yeah.
such a thing with injuries.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm learning, and people, you find, again, going back to what we started with, like you find those people that coax you and ride
Mhm.
safely with you and make the
Yeah.
right environment. And I feel like that's been about the only thing that's really helped me right now.
Yeah.
Um, but similar to you, like you have someone that teaches you and brings you safely on those things that you are terrified of, and it slowly gets better. But it's
Yeah.
a real
Very,
thing.
very slowly. We've been riding. Oh, it's been almost a year now that we've been riding. So it was at the end of February with that ride last year. And yeah, Cody has taken me on some of the most terrifying rides that I've not some of the most terrifying rides I've ever been on. He has taken me on things that I never thought I would go on, at least not for like years and years and years.
Hmm.
And within what is it, like 8 months of meeting him, he's like, all right, we're gonna go on this ride. And I'm like at the top of this hill looking down, going, what the hell?
But you probably trust them, right? You keep showing up,
I,
so clearly
I
you trust
do.
them, right? You
I
gotta ride with
do.
people that
And
you trust.
yeah, and he's really, really good. He's great at articulating like what I need to do. He's great at um, like getting me out of my head. Like I said, just like,
Yeah,
okay, you gotta just do it. Like, you gotta do this. Like, stop thinking about what happened forever ago. Like, just
yeah.
think about what's going on now. Like, trust your skills, that sort of thing. And I mean, I haven't died yet, so that's good.
I think that's super important for, like, new or anyone for that matter, but especially newer riders or, you know, people still in, like, some weird, learning phase, like, just understanding the importance of that itself. Like, you ride with people
Mhm,
that you trust, you build the
mhm.
skills safely, and you come back from the
Yeah,
ride and you're like, "I survived the ride, I can do
yeah.
this." And then it just,
It
like, it keeps the momentum going, I feel like.
Yeah, it builds your confidence little by little, and
Mhm,
I think that that's super important. I've been really, really lucky to find a lot of those people. Like, I had people when I lived in North Carolina, I lived in Tennessee, I was riding in North Carolina, but I had a group
mhm.
of people who took that time. You know, Tim took me under his wing essentially and was just like, I was so new on the bike. I really didn't know what I was doing, but he really was like trying to teach me like how to weight the peg properly when you're side hilling and all of this stuff. And he really took the time, and it was really great. We always called them trail daddies out there. They were our Appalachian trail daddies. Um and
Truthers.
they're just fantastic. So I had that on the East Coast. So when I came out west, I was really worried that I wasn't going to find that again. And
Mhm.
then when I met Cody and Mitch, they were just like absolute gold with that. And but it's been a little bit more fear than confidence building sometimes, but yeah, definitely, like, getting exposed to that though, because I had such limited seat time, and this is something that we talked about in the beginning with me and them, was that it was a lot of visual intimidation. It was a lot of seeing something and
Yeah,
immediately having that panic moment that you're talking about, where it's just like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like, oh my God, I don't have this skill. And like, oh my God,
yeah.
what if I fall? And I had to really work hard, especially with riding with them and wanting to like, I want to be riding the stuff that they ride, and I'm still not at that level, and I won't be for a while because they're freaking ridiculous.
Mhm.
Um, but like, I had to train myself to, instead of saying, for example, what's the best that could, or what's the worst that could happen, I say what's the best that could happen. So I force myself to see the best case scenario
Yeah,
instead of the worst thing that, like, you could, you say, what's the worst that could happen? Immediately you're envisioning yourself falling off the rock.
totally.
And if you say what's the best that could happen, you're seeing yourself go over the rock and make it.
Yeah.
And now just a little bit of throttle and, you know, some good clutch control, and then you're over it. And
Yeah.
or magic. 9 times out of 10 for me, it's magic, because I don't know how I made it up it, but I did. And
Sometimes I close my eyes and just someone rides up my bike for me. No, I'm kidding. I try not to let that happen.
that is the second time in a week that I've heard somebody say that. So
I'm just kidding. Please don't take my bike from me unless I absolutely ask for help.
oh my god. Yeah, no, I I think that it's a lot of mindset, and when you have trauma, it's hard to overcome that until you have enough experiences
Yeah.
to to like override it. And
Yeah.
even now, we're a year and some odd months out from me falling, and single track still sketches me out. But this last weekend was probably the fastest I've ever done single track on exposure. It wasn't a lot of exposure, but like it
Yeah.
still was enough that like 3, 4 months ago, it would have stopped me and slowed me down. I would have crawled across it. But this time I actually rode it. And I was really proud of myself. I was like, it's a baby step.
I
Yay.
know. I
like,
know. I know. Just this past weekend, I was out practicing on the trials bike, and like, again, it's something about just like, I'm so scared about falling. And there's this rock that I've been eyeing up for I don't even know how long. And I had
mhm.
someone stand there, and not that I needed it, but I was like, stand there and just be my cushion. That's all I need. If
Yeah.
I fall, just be under me in the bike. Like, that's all I need. And I got it. It wasn't pretty a few times, but again, and then I got back to the truck at the end of the day, and they're like, "How was your ride?" I was like, "It was amazing." Like, I had one win from the day. And again, I think I've had to like change my mindset a little bit where the TDN or any like hard enduro race for that matter, like my big change of mindset has been like, okay, like maybe I didn't do as well as I wanted to results
Mhm.
wise or time wise.
Yeah.
But, am I a good person for finishing? Yes, I did. I've completed
Yeah.
it. I'm in one piece. I'm in a good attitude, and, like, I'm not mad at anyone. I haven't ruined my bike, haven't ruined
Yeah.
me. Just changing your mindset a little bit, I think
Mhm.
helps with those goals at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really lucky that I have amazing people who've helped me kind of shape my mindset around racing. For me, it's not necessarily about like, there's competition there, but for me, it's competition with myself more than like
Mhm.
against you, for example. I am not going out there to, I mean, I would love to be on the podium, of course, but that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to just go out and have fun and learn something.
Yeah.
And that's how I approach it. And like when I started, the first couple of races that I did was honestly just to ride new terrain. And I did it because like the first one I did was a hair scramble, and I wanted to ride in Arizona. I was living in Minnesota at the time, and I was like, well, they have a medic, they have sweeps, they have a course planned out, so I'm not going to get lost in the middle of the desert. So it's like the safest way to go and ride in a new area and like
Totally.
check it out.
Yeah.
So like I never approached racing with like a goal to win. Like
Yeah.
that was always my approach, was like completely different than anyone else who was there, which is fine, but like now I'm starting to get like, okay, I want to do well. I don't need to win, but I want to do well for me.
Yeah.
Like this last weekend, I wanted to finish at least one test because I knew this was a really hard race.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to finish one test, and I finished two. So I didn't finish the whole race. I got hurt, but I still was so proud of myself because I felt good on the bike and I pushed past the goal that I had. And I
For
try
sure.
not to make a goal that's like too crazy, especially knowing my skill set. Like I'm not trying to say I'm going to finish an entire lap at King of the Motos, or I'm not going
Yeah.
to, finish the whole race.
Yeah.
But making like an achievable goal is
For
really
sure.
important for me, for my
Yeah.
mindset.
I think goals are super important to have, and I feel like this is such a well-known thing, but no one ever well, I don't know. Like, without a goal, it kind of like, what's the point of, like,
Mhm. What are you
I don't
working
want to say
towards?
riding, but, like, yeah, like, work towards something, and I mean,
Yeah.
pros have different goals than amateurs, and, even beginners to amateur like, there's still little
Yeah.
things that are different, and learning curves are different for everyone.
Mhm.
But I think it's important to just remember your goals at the end of the day and making attainable ones.
Yeah.
Um, I think one of my biggest fears is like being complacent, to just be like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to go finish the race. Like that's a mediocre goal. It's like, okay, I want to get to check 1 or check 2, or I want to,
Yeah.
do this in this time, or I want to make it
Mhm.
over that. I don't know. There's so many different goals that you could look at in a race, but
Yeah.
I think that's super important to have. And again, like I said, it's important for a pro has a different goal than what we would have,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And yeah, just keeping true to it and making sure that you stick to the plan and not be hard on yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah. Ultimately, we all started doing this to have fun. So if you're letting things stress you out, what's the point of doing it anymore? Like,
Hmm.
you're not having
I
fun anymore.
Yeah, it's important. Like, I'm sure you feel the same way. Like, you got to keep yourself accountable, and
Oh, yeah.
pick
Yeah.
up and be
But
like, okay, I could have done that a little bit better, or I
mhm.
have to go home and figure out how to do this. But again, it's I feel like races can either make or break you. Like it either
Mhm.
drives you to become a better rider and a better person, or it makes you want to go home and be like, I suck. I don't want to
Yeah.
do that anymore. And I mean, like, I think it's just so cool that people go home and they work on things and they practice it and they want to
Yeah.
learn and get better, and then they come back to the next race and they get better at that race too. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I like exploring people's mindsets on stuff like this, cuz like
Mhm.
I personally, like, for me it's all about having fun. I mean, this
Mhm.
is what I wanted to do. The fact that I'm lining up for these races is absolutely insane to me. And I mean, I call my bike happy. I am stupidly happy when I'm on him because I like this is what I've always wanted to do. I just wanted to ride dirt bike. And then
Yeah.
I wanted to race dirt bike and I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be a racer. And I had so many people tell me all these horrible things and now I'm doing it. I'm not good at it, but I use
Yeah.
each one as a learning experience. And
Yeah.
if I learn something, every ride is like that. It doesn't matter if I fall down. I think Cody and I were riding 2 weekends ago, and I probably fell like 8 times in the 2 hours that we were riding. We weren't even riding anything that hard. I was just being dumb, I guess. But I mean, I learned a lot. I was like, oh, well, in the sand when I'm trying to side hill, can't really expect it to act like dirt,
No,
it's gonna
no.
move a lot easier. And so the more momentum you have through sand is better and all of this. And so it is something that I learned. But I
Yeah.
felt like an idiot because I made it through. He was like, I'm pretty sure he was laughing at me. I made it through the spot and he was like watching me because he was like worried that I was gonna fall. And then I made it through and then I freaking high sided, like standing still. Like I was like, what
That's
is
usually how
wrong
it
with
works,
me?
right? And then
Like
you always break a lever or something stupid while you're doing that too.
I
It's just how things work.
thankfully did not at that point, but I was just like, what is wrong? Like I have fallen for the stupidest things today. Like it's all in sand. Stupid sand.
Yeah.
But
Sand is stupid. I mean, we gotta go ride it again. But
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, Motos, that was like my second time ever in sand. And I mean, retrospectively, I wish I probably would have come down a few days earlier, but I mean, again, we kind of took our time down on the way down.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
there's
it's
like
humbling.
debate, right? Like, so is it better to come early and go ride in the stuff that you're not used to? And like, we'll say we're going 2 days before, right? So
Hmm.
race is on Saturday, you get there Thursday. Is
Hmm.
it better to go and ride that stuff like sand?
Hmm.
Um, or is it better to get mentally prepared
I feel
and
like,
be in a good headspace?
yeah, I feel like, no, I feel like getting used to the terrain is good. Like, you can either be like, okay, well, I'm not very good at that. Here's what I can
Mhm.
do to help fix it.
Yeah.
Um, but again, like, you have to do everything safely, because if you do something, you get it to the new terrain and then you go crash your bike or hurt yourself like 2 days before the event, like, you have to ride, maybe not 120%, but like just start smart, right? No one wants to hurt
Yeah.
themselves before a race and then not
Yeah.
even be able to do it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think going down and getting used to it, it's no, even with Donner, like getting up to elevation a day before, that helped because it didn't
Yeah.
feel like you were drowning underwater. I think it's important to prep yourself before a race, which
Yeah.
it just adds to your whole like pre-race routine. And that goes to like eating and sleeping and everything else on top of that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's actually a great transition. So thank you for that.
Oh,
One of the things that I always like to ask people is, what does your pre-race, like the week leading up, nutrition and fitness look like? Um,
yeah. For me, honestly, I think personally, I try and stick away. Again, I'm in a unique situation. This is probably the weakest I've ever been, like physically the worst shape I've ever been in my entire life. But this past race, I think it was important, like for me, when I'm traveling pretty much 3 days to get down there, which is
mhm.
a blessing in disguise. We took as long as we did. Getting out, lots of stretching for long car rides, that helps.
Mhm.
Um, I was on the spin bike a lot prior to that and doing a lot of stretching and yoga, just, keeping your joints happy, not necessarily like doing any crazy weights.
Yeah.
But I think a week before is important to just keep your body mobile. Like you don't want to re-injure or hurt anything before it.
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously keep up on your hydration. That's one thing that I was really bad at traveling. Like I was good for the first day and then it just fell off. And then I
Yeah.
felt it the first day when I got out to King of Motos and I was like, "Oh, my lips are so dry," and I get it on top of it, like,
Mhm.
it's just a unique place to be riding anyways. Um, and again, like, I mean, you can relate to those long drives, eating on the road too, it's hard. Like, if
Mhm.
you're not prepared, like, you're just setting yourself up for failure, and,
Yeah.
um, I think it's important to like stick to the what you know, and everyone's got different methods and different diets prior to that, but keeping it pretty
Mhm.
clean I think is important, and you can save the junk food for afterwards if you really need to. But yeah, I think like pretty casual, the carbs the night before, lots of pasta, lots of steak.
Yeah.
I'm really bad. I struggle with actually eating the morning of. I haven't figured out a method for that yet. Um, But
Okay.
I thought oatmeal was my thing. It's not, apparently. It made me not so happy on race day. But,
Oh.
yeah, I don't have, like, a set routine per se. I just know that I need
Yeah.
to stay hydrated, eat as much clean protein as you can, and even if it's that in protein shakes format,
Yeah.
um, and just keeping the healthy calories in you, 'cause no point of stuffing junk food in you before a race.
Unless you're Riley Bender. Um, he he was telling me, I was asking him that question, and he's like, honestly, he's like, the at this point, it was like a couple years ago, um, saying something about some of the best performances he's ever had were when he had, like, what are they called? Like McMuffins or whatever from McDonald's for breakfast. He's like, I had like the bacon, egg, and cheese McMuffin or McGriddle or whatever it is. And he's like, I had 2 of those for breakfast and then I won. I was like first place. And he's like, that happened to me like 2 or 3 times in a row. And I was like, what? And I was like, so like asking people this question is actually very clarifying for me because I always thought like pro athletes eat a certain way and apparently they don't. I have hung out with multiple pro athletes in different disciplines now, and a lot of them eat crap. So like
Yeah.
I've seen multiples who love McDonald's. And I'm
Ugh.
like,
I would love that. My
wow.
stomach would turn for sure.
No, I can't. Like I could do a McGriddle every once in a while, like when I'm on the road, but I could not use that for like fuel before a race. Like 1 or 2 McGriddles. First of all, they're like teeny tiny.
Yeah.
So that's not enough food, first of all. And then second of all, I feel like that would make me sick.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I
I
half the battle is like waking up in time. Like this last one, because it was so, well, not so
it
early.
was
I just don't like
yeah.
mornings.
I
But
was
getting up,
cold. I didn't
yeah,
want to
there's
go out into
that.
the cold.
I'm like, I didn't want to wake up and eat right away. Like that's my goal for this year is like if I'm going to do another one, I need to
Mhm.
get on a routine well before instead of just like 3 days before an event.
Yeah.
Um, and get on a routine to force myself to eat in the morning because I think I got to after check one or but right before check one, I was not well at all. And part
Mhm.
of it was just I A burned through all of my energy and C or A and B. I was sick and then I burnt everything.
Yeah.
And there wasn't any amount of like snacks or water that could make me feel any better in that exact moment. I just did a really
Yeah.
bad job at keeping myself healthy the day before and the morning of.
Mhm.
So that's my new goal.
Yeah. I personally, guys, stop listening for like the next 30 seconds. I personally would like to schedule races where I don't start my period on the first day. That would be
So
real
many
great.
girls, so many
Oh,
girls with that problem. So many girls.
I hate it. So for me personally, again, guys, still don't listen. Um, I personally feel the absolute worst on the first day of my period.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of women who are like, "Oh, that's my strongest day." And I'm like, "You're crazy."
Yeah.
But literally like Battle of the Goats started my period. TKO started my period.
There's so
Just
many
after
girls
King
like
of the
that.
Motos, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
I like
ridiculous.
I'd be full on space cadet. Like I can't think properly.
Dude, no. Yeah. I absolutely cannot ride. I can't move. Like I don't get like cramps pain. I just feel so drained of energy
Yeah.
and I cannot eat enough on that day. So
Yeah.
like at TKO, I seriously like it took me 3 hours to do the hot lap and I was just like dying the entire time. It was way too hot. I ran out of water. Like there was so many things happening and I was like, people do not even understand because I honestly like the fact that I'm saying this on the podcast, I did say it a while back in a different episode, but it's not something I'm super open about. I'm not one of those girls who's going to go out and talk about my period all the time. Like
Mm.
that's not me. But
Yeah.
I am realizing that this is something that's a big issue for a lot of women. Like,
Hmm.
can we start scheduling races a little bit better?
I think it's like, I mean, I'm not versed in it at all, but like you even hear about it in Olympics and like what people will do to, fix their cycle or whatever. But like it's a real thing
Yeah.
for females. And again, it's different for everyone. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think that goes into like diet, sleep, everything. Like everything ties to your
Mhm.
cycle. And then, I mean, if you're lucky enough to have it the day or week of, like it's an extra layer on top of everything else. And then
Mhm.
you're like thinking that's all you could think about sometimes when you're that much pain. You're like, oh, the last thing I want to go do is ride a motorcycle. But then sometimes when you're on your bike, you forget about the problem and then it comes back when you're done the race.
Yeah.
Um, but like I said, I full on space cadet. Like I can't make a decision on a good day, let alone
Mhm.
when it actually is that time of the month. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a bigger subject than what we probably think, and it's probably that subject that girls kind of like shy away from. But it's the
Yeah.
reality out there, and I'm sure guys don't want to listen to this, but it's a thing for female racers for sure.
I really want some of my guy friends to do that. Like, you know how they have those period simulators? Like
Yeah.
they can do that. I want them to do that while they ride their bikes because they're like, I can't be that big of a deal. Excuse you, until you deal with it. Like, and I know I have a really high pain tolerance. So like I get cramps. I just don't feel them as pain. They just feel like somebody's like pushing on my back essentially.
Mm.
But
Hmm.
like I kind of wonder what that like I want to put one of those on myself so I could feel it and be like, "Oh, okay, this is like an 8, right?" And then go over to
Yeah.
my buddy and be like, Here, this is what I'm feeling right now. You think it doesn't, equate to anything?" So,
I'd really
yeah,
enjoy
I
that. Let
think
me
that
know if you ever do that. I'd be curious to see what
I will record it 100%. I feel because like you see guys do it all like, the like what is it, the birth ones or whatever, so like you could feel the contractions.
Yeah.
But even some guys I've seen the ones that just do the period for the like where the girl's getting it at the same time as the guy and she's like, oh yeah, this is like a normal day on my period or whatever, and the guy's just like on the floor screaming.
It's as bad
I
as the man cold. The man cold's a real thing. It's
Yeah,
real
exactly.
serious.
I just want him to like like feel it just like once and just be like, I just want time. That's it. That's all I'm asking you for like 5 minutes, and then you could be done, just so you understand.
Yep.
Because it takes so much energy and we have to deal with so much, and like dealing with like then dealing with the actual situation on top of being on the bike. Like at TKO, I was like drenched in sweat and I was like, I'm gonna
That is
bleed on my bike.
That's about the
It,
only place that it feels like you're like breathing soup. I wrote a
yeah,
trial there and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm breathing tomato soup at this point. Like I
yeah,
physically cannot breathe because it's so thick there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was training for an ultra marathon when I lived there, and because of that, I was out constantly in it running, and I had no issues. And I was like, Tennessee's not that bad. Like the it kind of
Ugh.
sucks, but it's not that bad. So
Yeah.
when I went for TKO last year after living in Arizona for a year,
Yeah.
that was the absolute worst idea ever, by the way.
Yeah. That place is something
Zero
special.
0% humidity, so like 95% humidity in a day, essentially, 2 days, essentially, and then to go race in that and then layer everything else that happened. I am surprised that I finished that freaking race.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe that I did what I did, because I should not I should just drop dead. Like, I
I
had
don't
so
think
much happening.
I don't think any amount of water or electrolytes, well, I'm sure a certain amount, but like you sweat out what you put in, especially
Mhm.
at TTC. It's insane.
Yeah,
And then like
yeah,
even
it's
even
immediate.
the rocks are sweaty. You go and put your foot down,
Mhm.
you're like, I can't even put my feet down because the rocks are sweating too. What is
Yeah.
going on here?
Exactly. And I mean it makes it a unique place to ride and race, but
Yeah.
like I don't know, man. I was just like I was so just like done with that race.
Yeah.
Like, halfway through I was like I can do this. I know I can do this, but holy crap. But yeah,
It's a great story now.
I wanted to have gills. I was like, I 100% need gills to breathe here, because like there's so much moisture in the air. Like oh, so bad.
That place is
But
super cool to ride at that or ride though. Like
oh my God, it's
it's got
gorgeous out
everything
there.
there. It's so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's super, super fun. I absolutely loved it. But I just, kind of didn't want that hot, wet blanket on me while I
Mm.
was riding.
Just say no more.
But
Yeah.
Tennessee is great in the winter time.
I don't
the,
know. It's a
the
unique
humidity
place.
drops.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 for sure. For sure.
That's the best part. But um so you've gotten to kind of go to a lot of places with trials, and
Yeah.
um now you're gonna go to new places with dirt bikes. You're gonna go to
Yep.
more places. Are
Yep.
you have you figured out if you're coming to Grinding Stone?
I'm like 90% sure. Yeah. Yeah,
Really? Yes.
I'm pretty sure I'll be there.
Oh
I'm hoping.
my God. I
Yeah, I
think
have
that we're probably gonna have one of the highest attendance for women for a hard enduro, because I personally know of 8 women coming.
that's
So
awesome compared to last year
yeah,
because it looks like last year there was only like a handful. That's still yeah,
yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah.
That's
So
pretty
I'm
cool.
super, super stoked. I got a couple of my girlfriends to sign up. Um, One of them is her first hard enduro.
Fun.
And I didn't even know she was interested in hard enduro. She's talked to me about it a little bit. And then, but she does like a lot of enduros, and she does like just a lot of desert racing. And so when she was like talking about it, she was like, "You guys are making it look really fun." Well, I signed up because my best friend signed up, and I didn't want to do Grinding Stone. Grinding Stone scares the crap out of me.
It scares
Uh,
me too, not gonna lie.
yeah, King of the Motos was the same. All of these West Coast races, I said I would never race West Coast, and here I am. So, but yeah, I'm super stoked that Darcy's gonna do it. It's just gonna be her first one, and she's gonna kick butt because she's just a badass on a bike. But
Nice.
um, I'm just so excited. I was like, we're gonna get to line up for a race together again. It's gonna
That's
be
so
so
exciting.
cool.
That's
And
fun.
so, yeah, I love the fact that there's so many women who are starting to sign up and starting to just like pull each other into it and just like,
Mhm.
even if it's not for racing, it's harder riding and it's just
Yeah,
like it's growing. It's
for
all
sure.
growing. I'm so
It's
excited
baby
about it.
steps. Yeah,
Exactly.
like you just gotta grow, like we've been talking about. Like find the people that you want to go to the race with. Like make it a positive first race. And
Yeah.
again, they go back, they either want to keep doing it or they don't. They learn that they
Yeah.
don't love it. Like
Yeah.
one or the other, which I
Hmm.
mean, that's the best part about figuring it out. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And just because you go to one doesn't mean you have to keep going. You don't have to be a crazy person like me and try and go to all of them.
I know that feeling too. I'm like, oh, well, I may as well, like, I have a free weekend. Why would I not go? Like, I'm busy
Yeah.
8 weekends in a row. I could just do a ninth weekend, right?
Yeah, it's not a big
No
deal.
big deal.
I don't need to like, work on my car or clean my apartment or, like whatever. Like I don't need to do any of those things. I was like trying to set a date for a race that I'm helping with and we're trying to set it and I'm like, okay, I've got this race this weekend, I've got this race this weekend, I've got this race this weekend and then oh yeah, that weekend I have a wedding.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man. And he's like, well, how close are you to the people with the wedding? And I'm like, it's my brother. I would be disowned.
I ran into that
So
problem last year. I was like, I
it's
had a
so
big race that fell
hard.
on. I was like, that's real No, I still went to my brother's wedding. If he ever listens to this, he knows how important he is that I went to that wedding.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Like I am less scared of my brother, more scared of his fiance. His Tessa's wrath would be immense. So
yeah, should go to the
but I
wedding.
mean, so it's really important to me to be completely honest. Like they actually met, all three of us were working together and so they met and I was like watching it happen and I was going, what's happening right now? Cuz I was friends with her at work and then he started working there and then that started happening and I was like, I don't I don't know if I like this, but
This is so
actually they
cool.
turned out to be like perfect for each other and
Aw,
I
that's the best.
it's really cute, but also it was very weird because like she was
Mhm.
my friend and then she's like, "Oh my god, I kissed him." And I was like, "Ew, don't tell me." Like gross.
I don't wanna know about my brother.
So, yeah,
Aw,
exactly. But like that's one of the very few things that I would skip dirt biking for. So,
mm, yeah,
other
family's
than that,
important.
there's not a whole lot other than that. Yeah.
Family's important at the end of the day. Family and health,
Exactly.
for sure.
Family and health and dirt bikes.
Yeah.
That's gonna be, everybody's got the like live, laugh, love. You can
Yeah.
make the family health dirt bike.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna make those bumper stickers.
Oh my god,
Um
you totally should. You would sell so many. That's how you fund your trip to Grinding Stone. That's
I'm gonna thank my bank account for that, although my bank account's going to be very angry at the end of the year, I will tell you that.
I completely understand. I have
Yeah.
had to switch some stuff around because I'm like, there's too many things. Like, there's way
Yeah.
too many things that are happening. I didn't get enough sponsorship, so I'm like, I can't afford to do all of these things. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of like if I had done everything that I was supposed to do this year and I was asked to do, I would literally be flying across the country almost every other weekend. And then I would be flying out of the country once a month. And I'm like,
That's
I don't have
expensive.
that kind of money. I don't have that kind of money at all.
No.
So
No, that's expensive. I know I've had to pick and choose and, cut some things out that I just can't do at the end of the year. I
until
said
we
to
win the
myself,
lottery.
yeah, until we win the lottery.
But yeah.
I have a pretty big knee surgery I'm aiming to get in November. I'm hoping
Mhm.
November so I can kinda get some riding in for next year. So I said, "This is the year," although I said that last year too. But I'm in way too much pain for someone my age, so I
Mhm.
have to do the surgery this year. So I said to myself, "I'm gonna go big or go home this year." So yeah, I mean,
There
not
you
go
go.
completely broke, but,
You
I'll try and get to as many
Ramen
events as I can.
noodles. Ramen noodles for are great. They're
This is what I
fantastic.
hear, ramen noodles, I mean, even peanut butter is getting too expensive, so
Oh my
ramen
god. Yeah.
noodles, and H2O. That's where it's at.
Mm-hmm. That's real cheap. I like it. I'm gonna be right there with you after this year. No, last year was actually my year to go absolutely wild. And like last year was like the year to do everything that scared me and like push my limits. So everything that I could say yes to, I did last year. And so this year's my year to like kind of tone it down a little bit. But then I keep getting asked to do like all this really cool stuff. And I'm like, I
Let me
don't know
fit
if
it
I can
into the
make it work.
budget. Let me just look at my
Like,
budget books.
but that's the other problem is like my job right now, I can't really get that much time off.
Yeah.
So, because I'm the only person who can do my job right now. And so it's great because they can't fire me, but it's also terrible because I can't really get time off.
Yeah.
So we're trying to hire people so I can get time off, but like I'm not in a very good position with them right now. But it's trying to balance the money, the time, the sanity, you know, if I can find that. I don't know if I have that anymore, honestly. But I want to do all these amazing things because like you said, like why not? But if I could make it happen, I would. But I can't do everything,
No.
unfortunately.
And
Like,
sometimes that's just a lesson learned. Like you
yeah.
prioritize the things that are important to you, and then you're like, okay, does that really make sense? Probably not.
Yeah.
Can I fly from one side of the country to the next? And then you look at the cost of flights, and you're like, nope. I think I need to pay my mortgage this month. That would probably be important. Yeah,
What's
it's a
a
real struggle.
mortgage? We don't need
But
that. I lived in my car for 6 months last year, so like I definitely have no problem doing that again. But I prefer not to. Like I like showers and
showers are
like
cool.
I live in an RV, so like it's debatable if it's a good enough shower, but
It's a shower. That's all that
it is.
matters.
It
Yeah.
is. I'm told that I don't smell afterwards, so I
Yeah.
I just no, I make a lot of sacrifices to do what I do. And you know, I joke about it a lot, but I do. I live in the middle of nowhere so I can have a place to ride. Um, you know, I live through insane windstorms in RVs so that way I could save money so I could do a little bit more travel, a little bit more racing, a little bit more seeing
Yeah.
people that matter to me. And you know, you find a way to make it happen if that's what you really want. Like you said, you prioritize things.
For sure.
So a lot of times people think that I just get paid to ride dirt bikes, and it's like I wish. Dude,
Yeah.
I totally wish, but that
Yeah.
is not a thing right now. So I don't
No.
have that kind of skill. There's
No.
a lot of people who should get paid to ride their dirt bike before I do. So,
I would love that. No,
mhm.
I find myself like I'm self-employed and I just find myself hustling a little bit more every time I look at like my
Mhm.
schedule and like, oh, that's going to be about $2,000 to go down in gas to the States. Like,
Yeah.
the exchange rate doesn't make things easy on top of it. So
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
there's that on top of everything. And yeah, it's a struggle, like work life balance. It's a real thing. But I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's got the problem at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And if you, like you said, if you love something, you make it work. And I mean, that goes all the way from amateurs to the pros. Like there's sacrifices that those guys have had to made and or make.
Exactly.
And if you love the sport, you make it work.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not easy for any of us.
Hmm.
Like you said, even the pros have to make sacrifices, but I I think that that's part of what makes us a little bit crazy.
Yeah,
But it's what bonds us together as well.
for
Like
sure.
I think that we all understand that, and we all understand the sacrifices we've made, and we don't get to just go out there and have these skills. So we all know that we've had to put that time into it, and that's a
Totally.
sacrifice in and of itself. So
Yeah.
um you know, I think that's part of what makes this community so tight knit.
Yeah.
And
We all have a
it,
loose screw and it's so wonderful. We're like, but how loose is your screw? How?
Yeah. That's why I always say, like, so the definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right? That's what they
Totally.
always say.
Yes. Accurate.
So if that's the definition, when you first learn how to ride a dirt bike, you are falling quite a bit for most of us. I don't know, unless you're just naturally amazing, but I'm pretty sure most of us have the same story. I fell and I fell and I fell until I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And so all those first times that you're falling, that's the definition of crazy. You're doing the same thing and you're still falling, you're still falling, you're still falling. So you have to be crazy to ride a dirt bike. Then you have the next level. You go off-road, you're a little
Mm-hmm.
bit crazier. And then you go to the next level and it's hard enduro. Your screws and barely there. Like,
Definitely.
um,
Definitely.
but yeah, I think that that's, like I said, what bonds us all together. And in off-road in general, you're going to get along with those people a lot better than, no offense, the motocross guys, for example. It is just a different vibe. I know some really great and amazing motocross and supercross guys, do not get me wrong. But overall, the vibe at a track is very different than off-road races. And that's because we're all the same kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the love for two wheels, I think at the end of the day is what I mean, everyone
Mm-hmm.
has their own opinions on stuff
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's got their own quirks and personalities, but at the end of the day it's two wheels. It's got and it goes in one direction, maybe a few directions. And yeah, we're just all out for a good time and like I said, bettering ourselves and seeing
Mm-hmm.
progression and yeah, it's a community in itself, which is super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Well, if you could give some advice to somebody who's brand new on a dirt bike, say they just went out and bought a bike, what would be your best advice for that person?
Ooh, how do I, without sounding cheesy, just don't give up. Like,
Yeah.
if it means, like you just said, dropping your bike 20 million times,
Mm-hmm.
you got to drop it 20 million times to figure it out. Uh,
Yeah.
and obviously, I think, yeah, it depends where you are in your stage of learning, but go out with people that you trust and people that give you that positive reinforcement. Find those
Mm-hmm.
people and make sure you just cling to those people because as soon as you get that doubt in your mind as a beginner, it just,
Mm-hmm.
we've talked about it a few times here. Like if you get down on yourself or someone's talking negatively to you, it's just going to set yourself up for failure. And I think
Yeah.
just finding that group of people and clinging to them, I think will be a make or break on how you learn something at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So then, same question, but focused on trials.
Ooh, just getting a trials bike. Uh, there's a lot. I mean, on a dirt bike too, there's a lot to learn, and everyone
Mm-hmm.
wants to do the big fancy things to start.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it goes to the basics. Like learn the basics, and
Mm-hmm.
the other stuff will come. And it's funny, I'm saying this because I'm horrible at this. I try and learn the basics, but then I want to go learn how to hop. Like,
Yeah.
but you can't learn some of the bigger skills without getting the fundamentals first. So,
Mm-hmm.
and as annoying as it is to go and learn how to use your clutch properly,
Mm-hmm.
or how to get your front wheel up, go into a field and try and get your front wheel up 20 million times,
Mm-hmm.
and get those basics down because it just sets you up for success later on instead of
Yeah.
going backwards where you try and muster through a skill and then you're trying to figure out the basic at the end of the day. It's frustrating if you don't learn properly, I think,
Yeah.
in the right series.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Hmm.
And then, is there any advice that would be different for hard enduro?
No, I mean, again, everyone has different ways of getting into the sport and
Mm-hmm.
different goals. And I think personally is just your first race. If you're just buying a bike, going to your first race, I mean, knowing that you have some skill to get you through a hard enduro is just do what we all do, like set an easy goal for yourself, whether it's
Mhm.
like be easy on your ego, be easy on yourself, and
Mhm.
if it's just to get through check one, hey, I got
Yeah.
through check one, I can get to check two now. Like
Yeah.
feel like you can accomplish that goal that you set out, because if
Yeah.
you feel like you've already failed yourself and you set too high of an expectation, that's never a fun feeling for anyone. And then you come back and then you just have a horrible day and experience. And then
Yeah.
sometimes that leaks out on other people too. So that
Yeah.
would be my advice.
Okay. I love that. Um, there was one more thing I was going to ask you. Now I don't remember. Shoot. Well, what is your goal going to be for Grinding Stone?
Ooh. Well, I've never ridden again anything like that rock before, so obviously have a good first day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'd be nice to make it to at least 2 checkpoints on day
Yeah.
2 if I happen to make it to day 2, but again, I have a pretty busy year ahead, so
Mhm.
I think I just want to go to that race and complete it to the best that I can and not have any injuries, because if I can walk away from there with no injuries, that's a
Mhm.
huge win in itself.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I wanna be safe riding and I wanna keep riding, and I think that's my goal at the end of the day.
Yeah. I love that. I am super, super excited for you to come back down. Like this is, I know it's huge for you. It's a big sacrifice. It's a lot of work for you, but it is really, really cool. We're gonna have so many women there, and we're gonna have to like have our own little corner in the camp area. Like
Yeah,
it's just like a
we
whole
should
little ladies
eventually.
party. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
100%. We'll just take over. We'll just go over to like the US hard enduro area and we'll just take over all their area.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Instead
Like,
of just
you
meeting on
guys,
the line like that, we may as well
yeah,
pre-meet and then go to the line together.
exactly. Exactly. I love this. This has got to happen. And then we're like, I always do better about feeding myself when I have other people to feed as well. So, like, I will like get up early and cook for people. And like, then I'm eating. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. But if
Yeah.
it's just me by myself, I'm like, yeah, I don't really like, do I need to? So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just feel like we could all help each other like that. But
for sure.
that's just me.
Nope.
Um,
Set the good vibes for the day, I like it.
Yeah. I'm just like so stoked for this. Like you have no idea. Like this cannot come fast enough. But at the same time, I need more time on the bike before that happens. So
I need to
I
go get
want
my
it to
bike
get
re-looked
here
at after I haven't even had it really torn apart since, the last one.
since
I
Motos. Oh geez.
Yeah,
I know.
whoops.
I was like, I have a couple things that I need to fix. Like I definitely took a chunk out of my foot peg and that needs to be fixed. I raced this last weekend. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Forgot that was there, whoopsie. I know
Oops.
on prologue day of King of Moto, I didn't realize how toast my clutch was, and it was slipping everywhere. I was like, "I feel like my bike is riding me today." And yeah, our friend that came from Canada as well, he took it apart, and there was a few of them working on it, and I was like, "Well," and someone, I wish whoever hears this or may recognize me, but the person that saved me with their used clutch set, I will forever be thankful, because that person got me through the race for the next day.
Heck
So
yeah.
yeah, I was pretty stoked on that, but now I need to go get that replaced because
Yeah.
it's a used clutch in there that got me through King of Moto. So
Oh,
yeah,
geez. But see, that's what I mean by the community. Like,
yeah,
where else are you gonna give your competitor essentially, uh, a clutch? Like,
it
even if
was
it's
pretty
used.
cool.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, the community comes together. Like,
totally.
I've seen the community. I mean, there was somebody who got their bike stolen, and I had people from the other side of the country messaging me, "Can you help figure this out?" And I mean, I messaged everybody that I could to try and help,
Yeah, yeah,
but it's really cool that people come together like that and like try
for
and
sure.
help. They wanted this guy, as terrible as it was that his bike got stolen, like obviously he wants his bike back, but
Yeah,
everybody's first priority was that he still be able to race.
yeah, I know.
Like,
It's so cool. It is super cool to see that for sure.
yeah, yeah. So I love the support. This community is absolutely phenomenal, and I am so lucky to get to meet people like you,
No,
who like
likewise.
I watch as like my Instagram heroes, and then I get to meet you in real life. And like I was just talking to like I was talking to my friend Judy about this. Is like they say like don't meet your heroes, but in hard enduro, you meet your heroes and you realize
Yeah,
that they're even better in real life. And I absolutely love that. And it has been true time and time again.
totally.
So I just thank you for being you.
Oh, well, same. Likewise. I mean, doing a podcast is so not like me. I like to keep my bubble really small,
Mhm.
mainly because I'm a shy person. So to do
Yeah.
this is kind of a way out of my realm. But I was like, man, I love your vibe. I love that you do this for
Aw,
the community. And I was like, if I can just
yeah.
come in here and be a good human and talk to you, like that's all I want.
Yeah.
And just chat with one of the coolest people that I have met out there. So your
Oh, you're gonna
podcast has
make me
been
cry.
fun. Oh,
Oh
um,
my god.
yeah, no, it's like I said, we listened to you all the way back from California, and you just do a lot for the sport and push women out there. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Yeah, I just like I always say, I want other people to experience as much happiness as I have. If I could figure out how to just give people happiness, I would. But I don't know how to do that. So the
So we
next
ride our
best thing that
bikes.
I have is to support people and get people out there and to show people that if I can do it with so many things against me, then 99% of the population can,
Totally.
and to even further that point, I met somebody in December who had an injury, a spinal injury, and is in a wheelchair. And Colin, if you're listening to this, it's you. He and I talked at this event, and I met his wife, and it was really cool. And I was like super stoked to meet them and talk, and it was just awesome. And I had made a joke because my older brother's in a wheelchair, and
Yeah.
so I was just like, "We need to get your wheels changed out," because I'm really comfortable talking with people like that. But then at the same time, I'm like, not everybody's as comfortable like me saying something like that to them, but he's really great sense of humor. So um
Nice.
but I found out he really wanted to ride a bike again. Like he used to ride dirt bikes, and obviously now he hasn't been able to. So we started talking about different modifications, and I was like, yeah, I've seen this person with this modification and this person with this modification. And like people do ride dirt bikes when they're
Yeah.
not able to use their legs. And so later, I think it was like later that week, I got a text from him, and it was a picture, and he had gotten out and he bought a dirt bike. And
That's
so
so
now he's
cool.
working on it, and he's trying to get it figured out so he can ride. And it
That's
was
so
really,
cool.
really awesome. Like, but if I could do it and if he can figure it out and he's doing it, like literally anyone can do it. Like,
Hmm.
and he's sharing his story now, and he's starting to like come out with it, and we're definitely gonna have him on the podcast soon.
Nice.
So we'll be able to share his story. Um but yeah, it's all about that inspiration, like making sure that other people see, because I was always told I couldn't. And I
Yeah.
don't want anyone to ever feel that way. Like I
Yeah.
want people to see that this you can do it.
Yeah.
So
If you think
that's
it,
my
you
main
can do
goal.
it.
Exactly. I love that. Well, in our last few minutes here, do you have any shout outs or thank yous?
No, I mean, just thanks for having me.
Of
I
course.
don't have any specific people to thank other than the people that put up with me and my friends and those that encourage me every day. I've got some good people in my corner. Outlaw Trials um, in the Okanagan here, and then Rider's Edge in also in the Okanagan. They're my two people that keep me going, or shops that keep me going.
Mhm.
Yeah, just the people in the community. I think those are my people, and they cheer me on and put me in a good mood to keep me on the pegs. And yeah, pretty much that's
I
it.
love that. I love it. Well, thank you again so much. This is so awesome. Like I
Yeah,
absolutely love this conversation. This is
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, thank you again, and I'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.